Okay, and so you used all this uh, kind of insider info when you became a DJ at this music club. Uh,
Right.
yeah. So, what was your process like for for before a show? Did you know any? You probably knew about the bands, like was it two or three bands, and then was the music tied to that, or how what was your process?
No, the process was really, I mean, I'd always thought DJing was going to be my career, as a little kid, and then I did have an experience in radio where I was, I was told what to play by people that didn't know. I mean, not to sound snotty about it, but didn't know a fraction as much about music as I did. So it was really kind of like it was a weird thing. Like, and I had to follow, gold record and top 40 formats and things like that. And when I got the opportunity to play records at the Longhorn, it was really just a matter of trying to play the best music I could play every night and try to, keep it fresh and not be too repetitive. And, it was a punk rock club, and there were a lot of people that attended that thought I should just be playing punk rock music all the time. And I just said, that's not what I'm going to do. And I like the punk rock, but I like lots of other stuff too. And hopefully, you can, maybe you'll find some things that I play that you like or whatever. So it really was. I carried an LP box and a stack of 45s that I teetered on top of it. I didn't have a car at the time, so I had to take the bus back and forth carrying all these records. But I'd usually have about, 30 to 40 LPs and, 50 singles in a box. And, so I could kind of be spontaneous and pick things. But, sometimes if, as we're approaching a show with, the Only Ones, prior to it, I'd play a whole lot of Only Ones records. There was a lot of plugging upcoming shows, of course. And but yeah, it was really just to play a variety of the best music I could play and to try to push people's boundaries. Even I got very threatening. I was in a couple of very threatening situations from some hard ass punk guys, actually in a car once. They were trying to tip over my car because they didn't like me playing Bob Dylan records or whatever. And it was like, so, there was, but I just thought it was my duty, to play. We played Dean Martin, we'd play, Donna Summer, we'd play the Sex Pistols, we'd play the Beatles. I mean, it was just, it just had to be a great record, if in my mind anyway.
That sounds kind of like a replacement set.
Well, there's that too. That was one of the things about the Replacements. I think they liked all kinds of stuff too. Paul loved the top 40 radio. One of my favorite things about traveling with those guys was everybody else would go to sleep at night. We did a lot of late night driving, especially because we had a beat up old van that didn't have very good air conditioning. And if we'd be in the South, we'd do a lot of travel at night. And South in the summer, that is. And I just I treasured those times of me driving in Westerberg and the riding shotgun, just being the button pusher. He was always looking for the song, always trying to find something. And, he wanted to be on the radio, and we were trying to figure out how we could do that.
Really? So he truly wanted to be a star. Did he want to be a star, a rock
Well,
star?
I think he wanted to be recognized for his music. I don't think he really wanted, I don't think being a star was really, uh, I mean, maybe later he kind of wanted to be a star, but not when I was working with him in the early days. I think he was just, he wanted his music to be recognized. And that was an interesting process, because I think when I met him, I mean, the story is, if you've looked at the book, I mean, this, or, it's something, he, when he first gave me the demo cassette, I was getting tapes for two different reasons. I was getting tapes for Twin Tone as possible, submission for a record deal, but I was also DJing at the Longhorn, and I had some sway in the booking there. So a lot of people were giving me tapes to get gigs opening for somebody at the Longhorn. And when Paul gave me the tape and I listened to it and I loved it, I just, without thinking, called him back and said, were you thinking of a 7-inch, or were you thinking about a full LP? And there really was this pregnant pause. And all of a sudden he just said, quote unquote, you mean you think this shit is worth recording? I mean, he was giving it to me to get a gig at the Longhorn. So I don't think he knew yet that there was really something there. And maybe I saw something that he didn't. I think he thought he had something, but he wasn't sure. And I think I reinforced that for him. So we were a good team in that respect, I think.
And where is that cassette today?
It's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland on loan. They wanted to keep it. I said, no, I'll have that back one day, but you can have it for now.